So President Trump just dropped news of a brand new and pretty expensive immigration program called the Gold Card. It's already making a lot of noise. So in the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what this is, who it's actually for, and what this whole thing really means.
And it's all kicked off on Truth Social, with a pretty excited announcement from the president himself. This quote really sets the tone, doesn't it? It's being framed as this super direct, easy path to U.S. citizenship. But what's really going on behind the hype?
Okay, so what is this thing really? Well, you can think of it as a modern-day replacement for the old EB-5 investor visa, which has been around for decades. The idea seems to be to attract the world's top talent and, at the same time, bring in a lot of money for the government. And this is all happening while other immigration policies are getting much, much stricter.
Now, the main sales pitch here is pretty simple. We need to keep the best and brightest right here in the United States. It's really aimed at those super skilled graduates from American universities who, a lot of the time, have to pack their bags and leave the country. You know, that whole brain drain problem we hear about?
So, let's say you can actually get your hands on one of these. What does this gold card really get you? Let's dive into the benefits they're promising for anyone who qualifies and, of course, can pay that pretty steep price of admission.
You know, even with that flashy gold card name, what we're really talking about here is basically a souped-up green card. It gives you permanent legal residency, meaning you can live and work in the U.S. for as long as you want. And down the line, it opens the door for you to apply for full U.S. citizenship.
And this is where you see the biggest change from the old way of doing things. The traditional EB-5 visa made it mandatory for your investment to create American jobs. The Gold Card, it gets rid of that requirement completely. The focus shifts from creating jobs to just a much higher direct payment to the government, with the promise of a way faster, smoother approval process.
So, when you boil it all down, the bottom line is this. Whether you're an individual or a big company, this program offers a very clear, though very expensive, path. You get permanent residency, a shot at becoming a citizen, and a tool for businesses to keep their top talent from leaving.
All right, but you knew this was coming, right? A program called the Gold Card isn't going to be cheap. Let's get to the numbers and see what they mean by significant financial costs. If you're a foreign national applying for yourself, the starting price, the base investment, is a cool $1 million.
Now, what if a company wants to sponsor an employee they really want to keep? Well, that price tag doubles to $2 million, and that's per person.
And that's not all. On top of that massive investment, every single application, doesn't matter if it's from a person or a company, comes with a $15,000 fee that you don't get back. That's just for the background checks and all the vetting.
So where does all this cash go? Well, the administration has been pretty clear that all the money raised from these fees and investments is supposed to go straight to the U.S. government. They're promising it'll be used to fund all sorts of positive national initiatives.
But you know, with any big policy announcement like this, what they don't say is often just as revealing as what they do say. So let's talk about what we still don't know about this gold card.
Yeah, you gotta ask, what's hiding in the fine print? Because once you start looking past the big, flashy headlines, you start to see a lot of unanswered questions and potential problems.
And there are some major gaps here. For instance, they haven't mentioned any kind of annual cap, so how many people could get in this way? There's no limit. Also, the cost is a huge barrier that obviously favors massive, wealthy corporations over smaller businesses. And then there are the fundamental questions about oversight and how a program like this would even work on a large scale. All totally unanswered for now.
All right, to really get the full picture here, we have to zoom out a bit and look at how this program fits, or maybe doesn't fit, with the administration's other immigration policies. And this is where things get really interesting, because you've got this huge contrast. On one hand, you have policies aimed at mass deportations and super tight border controls, and on the other hand, you have this brand new program designed to welcome and attract wealthy, quote-unquote, exceptional immigrants. It's like two completely different immigration systems running at the same time.
And you can hear this logic directly from the president himself. This quote really gets to the heart of the problem they're trying to solve. It's all about stopping that frustrating cycle where we educate the world's best minds in our universities, only to send them home to start companies that compete against us.
But here's the twist. This policy isn't a simple win, even within the president's own base. The source material points out that some critics in the MAGA movement are against any policy that increases legal immigration at all. It doesn't matter if it's based on merit or money. So this whole thing is a bit of a political balancing act.
And that really leaves us with the big, lingering question at the center of it all.
Is this gold card a real, good-faith attempt to reform our immigration system around merit, or is it simply an exception, a fast pass to the front of the line for the very wealthy? That's the question at the very heart of this entire debate.